Nathan Zegura joins us right now. Hi.
Good morning, Ken. You sound a little fired up today.
Your son's about to be born here. Congratulations, friendo.
Let's go.
Thank you. Yes, Monday morning. Here we go. Little dog.
What's the most common refrain you've heard from people that are either giving you the horror stories or telling you the blessing, the great blessing that is about to be at your doorstep?
You've been through it before 2 times, but it's been a while.
Yeah. It's been quiet. It's been quiet. It's almost been 15 and a half years, in fact, since the last time that we had this type of a foray. But no, it's all been a lot of excitement. A lot of excitement. I think, because I have done it, I know about the joy and the bliss and all that, but I'm also a proper amount nervous because there's going to be a lot to do with the young fella. So I'm very excited about it. Obviously, it's a great blessing for our family, and I know it's awesome for me and for Kayla. And so we're very excited, very excited. But no, so far, everybody's been so positive. Everybody, yesterday was, I finished up with the Browns for at least for a couple of weeks, and then hopefully I'll pop in and out at times, but everybody was so coming over to the studio. It was very cool, very nice, very supportive.
It's going to be awesome. I'm very happy for you and Kayla.
Yeah, baby.
This is going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to meet the boy. It's going to be a great time.
Oh yeah, he'll be out at training camp this year. He's ready to go.
This is going to be great. Nathan Zegura.
He's already. We're talking to him, through the belly as you're able to do it. I'm telling him, get ready. You got to be charting throws at training camp.
Oh,
so
yeah.
That's going to be big. So we're already getting him ready to go on that.
Nathan Zegura with us on the show. So Lima and I had kind of a row earlier this morning because I said, hey, a lot of people are saying great things about Chador Sanders. I like Chador. He moves the needle on content, everything. What are you going to do, man? I'm going to lean into it. I can't deny it. But that said, I want to do what's right by him. I think it's been a tumultuous spring and summer for him because of the scrutiny. That's probably not his fault, but there's been scrutiny there. And I said, man, I'd rather just kind of take him out of the running for number one quarterback. He might already be out of the running for number one quarterback just because of how they want to do it. But I want to do that just because I think you could almost spike his career before you even get the chance to get it off the ground if he goes out there and he's not able to conduct an offense the way we've seen other quarterbacks go out there too early and not conduct an offense.
For sure. So, and some of the stuff with Chador from a national standpoint, I've done a couple of interviews and they talk to me like as though he's the only quarterback on the roster. And I get it from a content standpoint. I was, yesterday out of left field accused that I was, creating false hope and false narratives around Chador Sanders. And so what we did was play a clip from Cleveland Browns Daily on Tuesday, which anybody who wants to see it, you can watch, go to our, YouTube page, Cleveland Browns YouTube page, watch the opening segment from yesterday's show. We played a clip from Tuesday, which was completely about urging patience from the fan base, from everybody when talking about Chador Sanders and saying that when you see him throw the football, he throws a beautiful football. So it's a very catchable football. He throws a very accurate football. His ball placement, as I've talked about, is elite. But there is so much more to playing the quarterback position at the National Football League level than just your ability to throw the football. You have to have that. That, I think, is once you master the other things, the ones who are great are the ones who can decipher where to go with the football and understand all the things pre and post snap, but then actually have the skill to deliver the football. We have a lot of quarterbacks in this league that can make every throw in the book, but they have no idea where to throw it, or they have the arm strength, but they can't be accurate with the football, or they can't read a defense, and so it doesn't matter that they're accurate. So you need all of those things. And I think when you look at kind of the journey, just take the two rookies on the roster that Dillon Gabriel took and that Chador Sanders took to the National Football League. Dillon Gabriel was always at major programs, had the 3 stops. He started more games than anybody. I think his on-ramp to some of the things from the nuances of being a quarterback in the National Football League because of the way that he was coached in college and the things that he was exposed to is shorter than that of Chador. And so really kind of looking through the lens of Chador Sanders, was at Jackson State, was at Colorado, a lot of different offensive coordinators. I know that. We had an NFL head coach and offensive coordinator, obviously, in the last stop in Pat Shurmur. But I don't think he was asked to do a lot of the things. So this is no fault of Chador's, nor is it a comment on his capability to do these things. I think he just has a kind of a longer on-ramp or a longer learning curve to all of the things pre-snap, all of the checks that you need to be able to make, to being under center, to calling plays in the huddle, to being able to be comfortable turning your back to the defense having that initial snapshot, turning around, getting that second snapshot, understanding what has changed and what that means for where the football needs to go, than the other quarterbacks that he's competing against. Certainly Joe Flacco, who has been in the league since 2008 and is the ultimate veteran and a consummate pro. Certainly Kenny Pickett, who still started 25 games in this league, even though he's still on his rookie contract. And then Dylan, who started more games in college football than anybody else. So I think that's the lens. I think it's going to be very easy to go just watch him throw the football and say, okay, yes, he is making a lot of strides. And boy, is he. He's working his butt off. He's in there early. He's out late. He is obsessed with the opportunity to work with Joe Flacco. It's one of the things that he cites all the time, why he's so excited about what he gets to do every day. So I think that you're right in the sense that I'm not saying Chador Sanders can't be the starting quarterback for the Browns at some point this year, but I think, could it happen? Anything is possible, but I think it is more likely than not that will be something that's later as he continues to get the valuable reps. And it's not just reps on the field. It's the reps on the whiteboard. It's all the understanding of every little nuance and subtlety that goes with being a quarterback in the National Football League. And I think he's incredible. He's absolutely capable of getting to that point. I think he will get to that point. I think he's probably going to get there faster than we think, but that's a challenge that is not easily seen. And I go back to, well, everybody had first and second round grade on him. Well, that's just on the tape. On the tape, there's no doubt what Chador Sanders is, and that is an elite thrower of the football, an elite distributor, point guard of the football. But there's the other parts of going into playing quarterback that, again, it is not his fault, but he wasn't asked to do a lot of the things that you have to do, I think, at this level. And so that's why you need to have that patience with him. And to what you're saying is, ultimately, it's going to maybe take him a little longer to get to the point where he really has that grasp that he can then be in that competition. But let me tell you this, he is incredibly talented. He's incredibly hardworking. And I think his ceiling is very, very high.
All right, so obviously we joked about the charting of throws. The media has only gotten to see so much. And again, there's no pass rush involved in any of this. So should fans maybe not temper their enthusiasm? We want fans to get excited about what's going on in the offseason, but should they not really be persuaded one way or another based on the media reports at this time?
Yes. And I'll just kind of give like a little more context to what I'm saying. Number one, that media snapshot until we get to training camp, then it's every day. So that's a little bit of a better picture. But right now, the media snapshot is 1 out of the 3 days of work in a week. So it's 33% of the body of work, right? 2, when you just list completions, attempts, touchdowns, interceptions, and that's all that's listed, that doesn't tell you anything. So I have my own spreadsheets and my own charts that I'm going through to kind of just keep tabs on these things. Not anything that, is going to be for public consumption, but just understand. But on mine, there's so many more factors in that, right? Is it team? Is it 7-on-7? Because that's different. Is it red zone or not red zone? Because that's different. Obviously, some of these touchdowns, if you're getting more reps in a red zone period than you got in a team period relative to somebody else, it's more likely that you're going to throw more touchdowns. The other thing is, okay, when were you playing? Were you up first? Were you up second? Who were you playing against? What defense are you playing against? Were you playing against the ones? Were you playing against the twos? Were you playing against the threes? All of these things matter into the equation. And that's why I talked about more in terms of not the numbers, not the reps, what we're seeing now, but how does that evolve and do those things change? Do we see quarterbacks like Chador who have not yet gone against the starters? Does he earn that opportunity to go against the starters? Because that changes how you look maybe at some of the numbers. The other thing is, too, you could see 7 for 9, but you could have a quarterback who goes, let's call it 6 for 9, another quarterback who goes 8 for 9. In that 8 for 9, how many of those were checkdowns? How many of those were throws where you're actually throwing it in rhythm where the ball was supposed to go? How many times are you pushing it down the field? So I think it's very hard when we're just posting up, this guy was 8 for 10 with 3 touchdowns and no interceptions. This guy over here was 6 for 10 with 1 touchdown and 1 interception. It's not apples to apples. It's not like this is in a game on Sunday where you're playing against an opponent. It's not apples to apples at all. So I think that part of it, you lose a lot of the nuance. So I would definitely be taking those things with a massive grain of salt. Now, directionally, you can see, and everybody who goes out there, you have eyes, and the videos you watch, you can see who's throwing the ball well. You can see who maybe at times is not throwing the ball as well. But there's so much more to it than just the raw data of this guy threw this many passes, this many were complete, he threw this many touchdowns, threw this many interceptions, because it doesn't tell you kind of anything about the quality of the completion. It doesn't tell you what the quarterback was asked to do on that play. It doesn't tell you who he's going against, who his receivers are on the play. So I think all of those things matter, and that's why the coaches have all of these reps, and we're getting so much work. I think if there's a big story coming out of training camp, and I know quarterback, obviously, that's the big story, but the second big story to me is, folks, this is a completely different OTA than we've seen with the Cleveland Browns in recent years. The number of reps, the intensity of reps, all of it. I think having these quarterbacks is kind of spurring that on. Maybe not from the intensity standpoint, but the number to get all the work. So you're having a team that's getting a lot more work out of their OTAs than they have in the past. And I'm telling you this right now because I've talked about it with numerous coaches on this team. You're going to see, fans, when you come to training camp this year, longer, harder, more demanding training camp practices than you've seen in recent years from the Cleveland Browns. And I think
Whoa!
that's a good thing.
No camp cupcake here, Nathan.
No.
Nathan Zegura on the North Olmsted Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram hotline. Ask him, Tone. Ask him.
All right. Did you even really care all that much about the Aaron Rodgers news? Do you think he is going to help them in a big way, or will it just be another Steelers season? 500, little above, maybe go to the playoffs.
It doesn't surprise me that he's there. It does surprise me that he was like, yeah, I'm just going to come in for the mini camp. Like, you're a quarterback. If you're trying to take over a franchise and a new offense, and now they're praising, Arthur Smith, and he's going to be flexible and mold his offense to kind of some of what Rodgers wants, which is not what we've heard about Arthur Smith's offense, and certainly not in Atlanta or Tennessee before that. So that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. It's just it's an odd situation. Is he still a talented thrower of the football? No doubt. But is this the Aaron Rodgers that is likely to be an MVP? Also, I would say not. He comes with a lot of distractions. The only thing I don't like, Ken, and I'm sure you guys don't like this either, but Cody's going full reverse jinx on it, which is, I'm not enjoying that part of it at all. But I don't think it changes. I think the Steelers coming into the season, even if they had Mason Rudolph, were probably preseason by the pundits third in the AFC North.
Yeah.
I think with Aaron Rodgers, guess what? They're still third in the AFC North, right?
I wish I could tell you different, but I think they are. I actually think it could blow up. I really do. I don't think that I think it's more likely that it blows up. I don't think he's really interested in playing anymore, but I don't think he wants to retire. I think he's just playing to play. I don't think he's interested in being a teammate and doing everything that needs to be done as a leader in a locker room.
He would have been
in
there.
the NFL anymore. Exactly.
Yeah.
And what you said about the offense with Arthur Smith, I think it knocked it out of the park. Like somebody said, they'll be run heavy. I go, will they? Like Aaron Rodgers just going to turn around and hand the ball off? He's never been that guy. And I don't think at this point in his career, he ever wants to be that guy. So I think they've got major questions to answer. But I will tell you this, though. As of right now, the way I see it, Nathan, you probably see it differently. You're there every single day, all right? So I got to see it from 30,000 feet and from Berea. So help me on this. The Steelers have a 41-year-old quarterback who'll turn 42 during the season. The Browns have a 40-year-old quarterback right now. Both teams are probably looking at quarterbacks as we sit on June 6th, are probably looking at quarterbacks in the 2026 draft. If they really have a flame out here, I don't think the Browns are going to win 2 games. I don't know if they're going to win 10 games, though. We got to figure it out here, and they might be in a prime position to take their QB.
Talking about the Steelers?
Yes, and I don't want that to happen.
Yeah, that would be an epic flame out. And that's the thing that's been kind of so interesting about Tomlin is that no matter what's gone on, they haven't had a losing season. Mason Rudolph did play pretty well for them the last time he was there. You kind of got the sense they were waiting for Rodgers. They could. Look, he comes with so much now. And even last year when he was healthy and played at times relatively well for the Jets, it didn't work for them. So I don't think there's any way you can have expectations that this thing is going to be a rocket ship, that, now they've got, this isn't, 2016, this isn't even 2019, 2020 Aaron Rodgers. So it will be a fascinating thing to watch because it is strong personalities. Now, we had heard from at some times that perhaps maybe TJ Watt was on the move, and now they're saying, he's going to sign a deal that's bigger than Myles Garrett's. It sounds like they're a team that's operating in a way, if that does happen, right, that is not in a flame out way, or certainly not in any kind of a tanking way, but a team that thinks that they want to get in the playoffs and try to win some games. It's always a tough place to play. That Pittsburgh is a tough place to play. But yeah, I think this has definite flame out potential. And Arthur Smith and Aaron Rodgers are two very passionate, I don't know if stubborn's the right word, but hard-headed individuals.
Yeah.
Watching that merger, I think, is going to be fascinating, just based on the things that we've heard trickle out from times in Tennessee and certainly from down in Atlanta. That, to me, is going to be one of the most interesting dynamics in the whole thing. Like Arthur Smith last year, if you remember, the Steelers weren't they 5-1 with Justin Fields? 4-1 maybe 35 games, it was 4-1.
Yes.
And Arthur Smith reportedly could not stand him at quarterback, and they were winning games. So it's one of those things. It's like, what's more important here? And I think that's going to be a fascinating dynamic between those two.
Nathan, thank you very much for the time. Good luck with everything on Monday. God bless. We'll talk to you again soon.
You got it. Love you guys. Just one last thing, because I want to just get your guys' take on this, and I'm sure you talked about it already. Is what Halliburton is doing one of the most insane clutch performances in an entire play? I mean, they are rewriting the history books every single round. It's kind of stunning. Like, what do you guys think about what we're seeing? That he gets the ball there, everybody knows he's shooting it, and he hits another game winner to steal game one on the road in a manner in which no team has ever won in the NBA Finals before.
I said at the beginning of the show today, I think he has the potential, if he were able to finish this off and actually beat this Oklahoma City Thunder team. It's only game one, for crying out loud, but with what he's done throughout the playoffs, I think that right now the league is at a crossroads of who the next face of the league is. I think he can vie for the face of the NBA.
Yeah, Nathan, it's just weird to see a guy that has trouble really putting up a ton of points, not really his game, does like to get other guys involved, and then has 4 of the biggest shots of the playoffs and comes through at the biggest moments. It's insanity.
It's insanity. I was just seeing one of those advanced stats where they took like the best clutch performances in an entire playoff run, and he is so far as an outlier above anything that we've ever seen in NBA history before. Mm-hmm. It's staggering. I mean, they're demoralizing. I do think it was wild that he didn't get Eastern Conference Finals MVP, that they gave it to Siakam, and he was totally ready to stand up and accept it, and not so fast. So maybe he's like, I'm going to get the Finals MVP. But like your point, long way to go. It just is weird, though. Their back-breaking comebacks have had a way of having much more of an impact than one game. So we'll see if they can keep that going against the Thunder, because I think the Thunder are the better team, although the Pacers are a great basketball team, but the Thunder are just more talented, I think.
Nathan, thank you very much, friend. All the best.
You got it, guys.
Outstanding. Nathan Zegura on the North Olmsted Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram hotline.